13.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
13. Roll number 13. And okay.
Ma'am, we are presenting a group PPT. Ma'am, is this visible?
Yes, visible. Wait. Okay, start.
So, ma'am, our topic, I am first of all, good afternoon, ma'am, and I am Jatin Gupta, roll number 26, and we are presenting our group PPT, and our topic is sex, sexuality, and gender equality. We are going to discuss about this topic later, and we'll explain what is it. So, our team name is Team Essence. So, what does Team Essence mean? So, our team, we have put our aroma of our ideas in perspective to educate you. So, we have poured our thoughts into perfect synthesis of harmony to give you the sweet flavor of sage. We are going to educate you about the sage. I would like to introduce our members.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anushka Pant.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bhavesh Chandani.
Hello, everyone. This is Jitesh Mulaka.
Hi, everyone. This is Palak Singh.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. This is me, Yash Radha, roll number 68.
So these are the members, ma'am. I'd like to start. I'd like to hand over to the Palak and start explaining what is SAGE and what does it stand for.
So, before we begin, I would like to say this is an informative session and we would like to educate the masses with the idea which we have tried to form. So, when you hear the word SAGE, so firstly, I would like to tell you what it stands for. It stands for sexuality and gender equality. Sexuality and gender are not labeled. They are spectrum, which may or may not change. People are uneducated about SAGE because it became a taboo after westernization of the Indian culture. To support this, before 2017, identifying in the community was a criminal offense in our country. The Criminal Procedure Code, that is CRPC, and the criminal law was brought in by the Britishers. What is sexuality? Sexuality and gender are just the chapter of a person's birth. An individual is much more than sexual orientation and gender. Our work ethic and willingness to work hard and smart should be the deciding factor in terms of career, not whom we decide. There should be no debate about SAGE because equality will always feel uncomfortable for those who once benefited from this inequality. And the people who don't understand same-sex relationships closing remark and the reply. You don't understand what is Korean language, but it is a language. Just because you don't understand something, that doesn't make it unreal or how many like to put unnatural. It's just like that whenever you are I would like to be very frank and tell you if अगर घर पे छोले बने हुए हैं एंड तुम्हें डिसाइड करना है तुम्हें पसंद है नान के साथ खाना और किसी और को भटूरे के साथ खाना पसंद है तो ये तुम्हारा ओपिनियन है बट एक इंसान को किससे अट्रैक्शन फील हो रहा है या उसका खुद का क्या ओपिनियन है तुम उसमें ना ही बोलो तो बेहतर रहेगा क्योंकि ये उसका पर्सनल ओपिनियन नहीं है जिसकी तुम अपना ओपिनियन उसके ऊपर नहीं डाल सकते हो ये उसकी चॉइस है ये उसकी लाइफ है Over to you, Bhavesh.
Hey everyone, this is me Jitesh Mulaka, and I am here to enrich you all about how we have divided sexually. We generally listen about LGBTQ, but I would like to tell you that it have more terms and it completes itself as LGBTQIA+. You may wonder what are these new terms in this normal term. No worries, I am here to throw some light and let you know what each term represents here. Starting with L in LGBTQIA+, L stands for lesbians. Lesbians are those women who are sexually or romantically inclined towards other women. Getting towards the second term, that is G. G stands for gay, a man who is sexually romantically inclined towards other men. Continuing forward, B stands for bisexual. Bisexual are those people who are attracted towards their own gender as well as other gender. T stands for transgender. Transgender is a person whose sense of personal identity and gender does not correspond with their birth sex. Q in the term stands for queer. These are the person who are not heterosexual and have orientation that feels do not fit. I in the term stands for intersex. Intersex people born with some combination of male and female sex organs. A in the term represents asexual. A sexual person has no sexual feelings or desires, or he is not sexually attracted to anyone. The last one, but not the least, the plus sign. The sign represents other sexual identities, including pansexual and two-spirit. Now, I think you all have a small idea what all the terms in the LGBTQIA plus signifies. Now, I would like to pass on the discussion to my next teammate Yash Raja to continue the discussion forward. Over to you.
Hello, this is Yash. Now I would like to discuss where the problem lies in the society. So today, more Indian youths are accepting the homosexuality and queer identities than ever before. But acceptance of the sexuality and freedom to openly express their sexuality is still a struggle for the LGBTQ people. Where I would say that LGBTQ people believe that society is becoming more accepting, but in practical life, just 19% say there is a lot of social acceptance. Other than that, rest of them say that they have been discriminated before, such as being subjected to slurs or jokes, having or उनकी खुद की family member ने have rejected them. I think the major reason before it is the stereotypes, the stereotype thinking of the people. People in the LGBTQ community are struggling for the acceptance and equal rights. Trans people in particular, they have hard time gaining acceptance. People in LGBT community are often looked down and discriminated against, which is a rampant, and this is such a huge issue. Many people believe that LGBTQ people are strange and unusual. I have heard of people coming out of the closet and saying that that their families are not the person they are family expected to be. The lack of family support के कारण many people are thinking that they feel many physical and mental issues, which leads to depressions, suicidal thoughts, and many such diseases. Families that don't accept put many restrictions in the way that they choose to dress and interact with other partners in the absence of family support. The LGBT people found online groups and social media have offered accessible alternatives to form a community outside of the family. Let me tell you an example that I've heard that in villages, what happens is many lesbian people, their family think that this lesbian is a problem, this is a disease. So their family member take them to Baba Shames, Thongi Babas, कि that this thing can be cured. उनको लगता है कि उनके family member को lesbian से कि ये एक disease है जो cure किया जा सकता है. वो उनके ढोंगी बाबा के पास ले जाते हैं और ढोंगी बाबा उनका benefit उठा के they rape them. और इसी में ये कहना चाहूँगा मैम कि जो जैसे हम स्वच्छता की बात करते हैं कि जब हमें पूरे देश में लानी है तो हम अपने पहले घर से शुरुआत करते हैं. वी शुड स्टार्ट फ्रॉम आवर होम इटसेल्फ. वैसे अगर हम अपने थॉट प्रोसेस की बात करें, हम सोचते हैं कि सोसाइटी की सोच गलत है. नहीं, पहले हमें अपने घर की देखनी चाहिए. हम अपने घर में पहले क्लियर थॉट प्रोसेस लाना चाहिए. धीरे धीरे वैसे पूरे समाज में आएगा. Next, I would like to call Anushka Pant to give more biological evidence of the same.
Good afternoon, everyone. So here, as we already know, the transgenders are a result of complete biological process. Similarly, I am here to tell you about how homo and heterosexuality can also be determined on the basis of genetic components of our body. So there have been numerous studies, researches, and surveys that proves and that says that being sex is not just being male or female. Rather, it is the continuum of the continuum that emerges from a person's genetic makeup. While in the research for the gay genes, it has been found that the presence, absence, shortening, or lengthening of certain gene components can influence the sexual behavior of a person. While multiple gene candidates being linked to the homosexuality, it seems highly unlikely that a single gay gene exists. This idea is further supported by the identification of 5 new genetic loci that correlate with the same-sex activity. 2 working both for men and women, 2 working just for men, and 1 working only for women. Also, males with a genetic condition called androgen insensitivity syndrome can develop female genitalia and are usually brought up as girls, despite of being male with the XY chromosomes, and they are attracted to men. This suggests that the testosterone, it needs to be masculinized in prenatal brain. If that doesn't happen, then men grow to desire men. Similarly, girls also have a genetic condition called congenital adrenal hyperplasia, in which when they're exposed to unusually high levels of male hormones like testosterone while in the womb, they may masculinize their brain and increase the odds of lesbianism. It's also possible that hormone shifts during the pregnancy could affect the fetus's brain is configured. In 2019, on the basis of a survey and the research, it was concluded that about 8 to 25% of sexual behavior, same-sex behavior, is based on the gene account of the body. Sexual behavior is widely diverse and governed by the sophisticated mechanism throughout the animal kingdom. Such behaviors emerge from the constellation of 100, perhaps thousands of genes and how they are regulated by the environment. While there is no single gay gene, there is overwhelming evidence that is programmed into the brain before the birth based on a mix of genetics and prenatal conditions, none of which the fetus chooses. And now I would like to pass it on to Bhavesh to tell you more about it.
Hello, my name is Bhavesh Chandani. And I'm going to speak. Even after making it legal, people are not accepting them. LGBTQIA plus rights in India have been evolving rapidly in recent years, and this community is facing a lot of problems. People continue to discriminate between hetero and homosexuals even after removal of Section 377. Let me tell you how the problem started. There are some people who feel that heterosex that can produce baby is the only way to have sex. How do you define natural? You can't be asexual because you don't reproduce by self-replicating. It's basically the same argument as your nose can't be running because it doesn't have feet. The way I see it, natural is what comes to someone without force or suggestion. You don't owe an apology to anyone for being homosexual. Let me tell you the current scenario. आज के लोग ये सोचते हैं कि homosexuals mentally ill है, वो लोग किसी के ऊपर कूद जाएंगे. Is it really? They can cause harm. Do you think homosexuals are going to jump on you or attack you? Just one question for all the ones here. Who are you to do this? Denounce gender roles, but respect gender identity. Trauma keeps in the loop of your past. You will be 25 with an 8-year-old mindset and thought process. ये सही बात है. That's why you people please or overextend yourself or stay places longer than you should have. Your inner child is screaming, saying, finally someone loves you. Teach the kid to love, but don't question their choices. Just tell your kids that there are two people who love each other. There is nothing bad in that. I don't think so. इसमें कुछ बुराई है क्या? आप लोग बताओ. That is all that you and your kids need to know. There is no business of yours to imagine about and pass judgment on what they feel for an individual. Like I have an example which will be presented by Anushka from now.
तो हम सबको ये पता है कि महाभारत क्या था. सबसे बड़ा पुराण जो हमें बचपन से बताया जाता है. महाभारत के समय पर जब पांडवों को अज्ञातवास के लिए जाना पड़ा था 1 साल के लिए, और तब उन्होंने अपनी आइडेंटिटीज चेंज की थी. उस समय पर अर्जुन ने एक ट्रांस वुमेन का किरदार निभाया था, और उस समय पर उन्हें राजा विराट की बेटी उत्तरा का डांस टीचर बनाया गया था. हमें हिंदुइज्म में ये बचपन से बताया गया है कि कैसे हम गुरुओं को अपने भगवान से भी ऊपर का दर्जा देते हैं, कैसे हम उनकी रेस्पेक्ट और उनका सम्मान अपने भगवान जी से भी ज्यादा करते हैं. तो जब उन्हें एक ट्रांस वुमेन को उस समय पर भगवान श्री कृष्ण के प्रेजेंस में एक टीचर का दर्जा दे दिया गया, तो आप किस हक से ये कह सकते हैं कि हमें कुछ भी थोड़ा सा भी हक है कि हम उन्हें डिसरिस्पेक्ट करें या हम उन्हें डिस्क्रिमिनेट करें या हम उन्हें ये राइट्स ना दें, वो राइट्स जो हम बहुत हैप्पीली एंजॉय कर रहे हैं हर रोज। इसीलिए तो मैं यही इस बात से क्लियरली साबित होता है कि कैसे वो हम में से एक हैं। दे डोंट हार्म अस, दे आर इन अस, दे आर वन ऑफ अस। पलक।
और बरोबर हमारे सोसाइटी में हो या हमारे हम जितने लोगों को देखते हैं तो ऐसे बहुत से लोग ऑलरेडी हैं जिन्होंने एग्जाम्पल सेट कर रखे हैं। लाइक उन लोगों ने अपने आप को स्वीकारा है और स्वीकार के कोई गलत काम तो किया नहीं है। अपने आप को स्वीकारना बहुत बड़ी बात होती है। जैसे कि एलन डीजेनेरेस, शी इज अ वेरी बिग पर्सनैलिटी as we all know, and she has done a whole lot to mankind. Moreover, the other people also, they have accepted their reality and they are happy. And as we all know, they have set a very big benchmark for all of us, like whatever they have achieved. So this is a very thing. So accepting yourself is something which you should be proud of, and everyone should respect this. Over to you, Jatin.
Okay, now I will tell what government has done to accept these people or to make these people realize they are among ourselves and they are normal. On September 6, 2018, India's Supreme Court invalidated a colonial era law, homosexuality, between consenting adults by declaring Section 377, which criminalized gay sex as manifestly arbitrary. In 1884, an unusual case came up in the Allahabad High Court of a person named Sexuality on the suspicion that he was found dancing and singing as a woman. He was arrested on suspicion that he was a habitual sodomite and was subjected for medical examination. It was the first case recorded under the Section 377 of Indian Penal Code. Now I'll hand over the mic to Jatin.
Hello everyone. As I told you before, I am Jatin Gupta, and as Bhavesh told that government is doing a lot to provide the safety and to make them come out of their cocoon for the LGBT communities. And with government, a lot of NGOs are also working. जैसे कि हम सब ट्रस्ट, नास फाउंडेशन, सगमा फाउंडेशन, ये लोग काम कर रहे हैं ताकि जो LGBT की कम्युनिटी है, जो गे कम्युनिटी है, जो होमोसेक्सुअल कम्युनिटी है, वो बाहर आए और खुल के बोल सके। क्योंकि इसमें कुछ शर्माने का नहीं है, ताकि वो अपने माँ बाप से खुल के बोल सके। और एज ए ग्रोइंग कंट्री वी शुड स्टार्ट एक्सेप्टिंग दिस एंड मेक कंफर्टेबल स्पेस फॉर देम सो दे डोंट फील स्केयर्ड। और ऐसा हो ताकि इस पर्पस के लिए हमारे पास काफी मूवीज भी बन रही है, जैसे कि शुभमंगल ज्यादा सावधान जो कि गेज के ऊपर थी, और अजीब दास्तान जो कि अभी नेटफ्लिक्स पे रिलीज हुई है कुछ टाइम पहले, और एक शीर कोरमा जो कि बेस्ट शॉर्ट फिल्म का अवार्ड जीती है। तो आप सोच सकते हैं सोसाइटी बढ़ तो रही है, बहुत दिक्कत आती है लोगों की मेंटालिटी में। लोगों की मेंटालिटी नहीं बदल रही है, बहुत कम स्केल पे बदली जा रही है। तो उसको बदलने के लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं? उसको बदलने के लिए हम कर सकते हैं स्टार्ट यूजिंग द जेंडर न्यूट्रल वर्ड्स। सो आप सोच रहे होंगे व्हाट आर दीज जेंडर न्यूट्रल वर्ड्स? सो व्हेन वी से समथिंग पीपल से दैट इट शुड बी फैक्चुअली करेक्ट, and it is true. It should be factually correct. It should be politically correct. You should not speak something which is not true. It can make a bad influence. So just like that, the word should also be genderly correct. Your word should not be gender specific, like mankind. Okay, chairperson. It shows that human or mankind shows that it's only about men. This shows that these occupations cannot be occupied by the women. So when we say fireman, policeman, chairman, this can be sure that it's only occupied by male. That's why we are embracing gender neutral terms. So what are gender neutral terms? For example, we should be using spouse instead of husband and wife. We should be using headmaster, principal or director instead of headmaster or headmistress. This incorrectness is not only English language. Like हम ये नहीं कह रहे कि हमने सिर्फ एग्जाम्पल इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज का दिया है तो सिर्फ इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में ये गलती है। सारी लैंग्वेजेस में ऐसा होता है। जेंडर न्यूट्रल वर्ड्स हर लैंग्वेज में होने चाहिए और वी शुड स्टार्ट यूजिंग देम। इट विल मेक देम फील कंफर्टेबल। और इसके बाद हमारे पास एक नया टॉपिक आता है, लाइक वी शुड नॉट बी प्री-अज्यूम दैट एवरीवन इज स्ट्रेट। हम क्या करते हैं कि अगर हमने किसी लड़के को देखा तो हम सोच लेंगे कि ये सेक्सुअली अट्रैक्टेड सिर्फ एक लड़की के साथ हो सकता है। अगर वो किसी लड़के के साथ होता है तो उसको गलत मान लेते हैं कि वो गलत इंसान है, उसकी मेंटल स्टेट सही नहीं है। सो आई कैन से दैट स्टॉप बीइंग ए हेटेरोनॉर्मेटिव। तो आप सोच रहे होंगे कि ये हेटेरोनॉर्मेटिव ये क्या टर्म है? तो इस टर्म का मतलब होता है कि we should not be assuming someone's sexual orientation. आप देख के किसी की sexual orientation को जज मत कीजिए, पहले उसके बारे में जानिए, और अगर वो कुछ अलग है, अगर वो एक heterosexual नहीं है, तो इसमें गलत क्या है? Okay, so we should stop labeling people and stop asking inappropriate questions that how sex works for you and how you are going to give birth to a child. And our motto is let live and let love. As ma'am said, जियो और जीने दो. This is our motto, and I like to end over in this PPT. If someone wants to add something, Palak, Anushka, Bhavesh, Jitesh, Yash Raja, if anyone wants to add something, please do.
That's all from our team. Thank you.
Okay, that was our PPT, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you everyone to listen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.